Hello and howdy everyone and welcome back to CGL Season 11. My name is Crumble and I'm joined here today by my co-host Big Sam here for our NA console match, Vortex versus... I already forgot the names of the teams. I'm so unprofessional. Vortex versus Outlawed Saints today. Yeah, it's a fantastic matchup tonight here, folks, so we're looking forward to it. And I believe all the players are ready, so I think we're going to be going into it pretty quick here, Sam.
Yes, sir. I do know the Outlawed Saints. I'm in their org, so I do know a lot of their players. Looking forward to seeing Ash Thursday on the support. The DPS, Nova and Coco. I know all those guys real well. Declan on the tank, and of course Potato on the other DPS. I know them real well. It's a good team, good solid coach, good solid foundation. And fun fact, last year they had a team win Tier 2, go up to Tier 3. So this is a brand new Tier 2 team to win our Plat division.
Well, it seems like we've got some high value names here. Here's a look at our Vortex lineup. We've got Wisdom on the Reinhardt, Infinite on the Tracer. Clearly, we're liking to see, we're seeing a little bit more of the Reinhardt at the moment, Sam. We're seeing Reinhardt and Baptiste come into the meta, some rush compositions really showing, rearing their heads at the moment. There's a lot of conversation about Bull taking over the meta in terms of, when tank is concerned, but I at least I can say for myself, I'm very happy to see Reinhardt having his time to shine in Overwatch 2. We didn't have that at the start, so it's definitely nice to see that come in to fruition.
It is. I did a game earlier today where both teams were running almost exclusively the Wrecking Ball with a Pharah and Tracer / Genji for the poke damage like a dive. This game, I don't know if we're going to see the same thing. If we're going to see a Winston, Lucio, May, Reaper brawl, but who knows what we're going to see. I saw earlier today pretty much every tank being used, so it's anyone's guess what the tank's going to pick, and then it's going to follow the team composition after that. Who knows what we're going to see, but we're in for a treat tonight.
Yeah, when we do look at kind of a lower elo like Plat, really in the metal ranks and even up to Diamond and Masters, it's not that top 1%, so we're not going to need to see the most optimal compositions with, Bull, Lucio, Kiriko, all these like really high skill ceiling heroes. We're more likely to see some picks surprise us. Maybe we'll see a Bastion. Maybe we'll see, I don't know, Zarya. Zarya's not really a tank we see often, but we will be getting into that pretty quick. Coming on to Busan.
It looks like we were at Mecha Base right off the bat, so it's kind of interesting to see. I could see a Pharah coming in here. I can see Widow coming in here. If they do Brawl, probably, like I said, we'll see the Reaper May, but you hit the nail on the head with the Bastion comp, but kind of different with a Bastion and a Doomfist composition.
I mean, hey, whatever works. Whatever works in the scrims, you can't disrespect it.
Yeah, whatever works. Ooh,
oh, okay, yeah, never mind. Coming out. Cursed, yeah.
They were toying with the emotions right here, but both Lucians are going to speed boost straight to point. It's going to be like the Rhine Brawl. Is pretty much what we're going to be getting right off the bat.
Yeah, but Nova Key here on the May, looking for those walls onto Wisdom. We'll see if that comes into effect. We're seeing the Reinhardt Brawl come out. May will not able to find anything. We're seeing the tank on the side of Outlawed Saints falling pretty low there. A loss of pressure from the Sojin, finding an opening pick onto Wisdom. That tank is down the front line, obsolete. We can see Potato making absolute use of that. The shield from the Reinhardt is no longer there, getting some nice railgun picks, and it looks like a fight reset for Vortex as Outlawed Saints will capture the point.
Yeah, that was huge right there as the Potato went on backside, and Potato did a lot of good things. And the charge railgun shots, they even with the nerf, does a lot of damage, and that was easily able to get 2 pickoffs right there, and was able to pick back Vortex where they have to do a reset. So Outlawed Saints does still have the advantage, and right now it's going to still be the Rhine battle. Is going to be the whoever ones that will probably more than likely win the engagements.
Declan getting charged off early means that he has to force out the immortality field pretty quick, and that cast is going to be putting some nice damage into the Reinhardt. Without that lamp available, falling low is really detrimental here. Not caught quite yet, as Zesty Potato is going to take out that immortality field. So immortality fields both down. Both shatters are available. Declan not able to find anything, but it's a shatter laid down onto the field. It finds 2, and the follow-up is there. We do see a trade coming in here from Inky, but the high noon is going to be there from Infinite to try and keep things going on that high ground. And yeah, things will clean up nicely here for Vortex. So using the window as well. So a lot of ults invested by Vortex because they really want this point flip here, and they are going to get it.
Yeah, that was a huge shatter right there. Both teams had shatter, and Wisdom got more usage out of it than Declan did. So that was an easy 2-for-1 trade-off, especially losing Nova with the May wall. And then it's just a follow-through with the Deadeye. But you can't really use all your ults because really you'd like to stagger them or just use 1 or 2 per team fight. So let's see what happens right here, especially with the Railgun ult coming through for the Sojourn.
Yeah, window popped on the high ground. They want to sustain the damage coming through. They're trying to pressure out Vortex, but they're kiting back here. So they're really utilizing that rotational to kite back from the window. The Maywall comes out, doesn't find anything. Here's the overclock from the side. Immortality Flip has to use very early there. They're trying to live through this overclock, but the damage and the pressure is certainly there. The tire completely negated here by Declan. So that ultimate has gone completely down the drain. Wisdom now cleaving through with the hammer. The beat there to sustain. The charge ain't going to do anything through a beat, buddy. He's got a shatter, going to hold on to it for now, as Vortex are able to win out another fight nice and cleanly.
Yeah, for Outlawed Saints, the potato, if they could have got more usage out of the ult right there, could have got a pick or two, but didn't, because the Maywall was right there. If they would have maybe went more backside and shot with the Maywall and could have got 1 or 2 of those with the slowdown ability of hers, could have been more better. But we shall see what happens right here with Vortex kind of looking like a solid unit right now. But Outlawed Saints, they're still a really good team, and this is far from over.
Eyes on Reinhardt's here to try and get a shatter off. Window comes out, the pressure is being laid down onto the point, but Maywall nicely used there in order to cut it back, destroy it instantly. There's a shatter coming down through the window, and it's huge, but there's a reverse shatter. It goes one way and it goes the other. Trades coming through, the Cassidy falls, so it's a 45 situation here. They managed to even things out though, so Vortex still looking fine in this fight, but with that 5 piece down, the sustain isn't quite as good, so Outlawed Saints are actually going to be able to get the fight win there, 70% and counting.
Yeah, that was a good shatter right there, and just a good follow through. Even though you lose your tank, it's still the damage is already there. The staggers right there, and the knockbacks there. So yeah, it looks like Awesome has switched over to the Reaper as well. I guess as they try to get ult charged off the Ryan, try to get a Death Blossom. But Nova's Blizzard's probably gonna clinch this one right here for Outlawed Saints if it can at least get 3 to 4 people.
Yeah, the ult bank is substantial for the Saints right now. Seeing the High Noon come out from Infinite. But they're getting pretty caught low there on the coast. The beat is available and sustain is just so good. The overlook from the high ground from Potato. The pressure is just so insurmountable in this fight. And Vortex are trying to string something together, but they just cannot find the words to form a sentence on this point. That'll be a nice clean fight room there. 99 to 77% there. So definitely some close fights, but Outlawed Saints coming out on top for our first round.
Yeah, that's the one thing with Sojourn. Sojourn's got very good mobility and can flank almost anywhere on the map. Therefore, the Sojourn can just go around, charge the railgun, use the ult. Hey, I got wide open shots, no shield in front of me. The Ryan's not looking. Boom, boom, boom. Damage, damage, kill. They realize, oh, right behind us, and then it's just the other Ryan right behind swinging, Bay freezing. And it was just a good, like, a pinch, so to speak, of trying to attack in multiple angles at one time. So very good strat right there, and use of the high ground by Outlawed Saints.
Yeah, Sojourn is a threat on the high ground, and Potato seeming to know the character very, very well, being able to land the shots on the overclock, and just that presence of the railgun alone is going to be very threatening. Both teams coming out now on a ball-oriented composition with a Lucio Mercy backline, so a lot of survivability available. Declan falling pretty low already. Looks like the follow-up damage is going to be there quite nicely. Slam coming in, and the main cohort of Outlawed Saints being pressured out so well. But the first pick does come on the side of Outlawed Saints. It's immediately traded out, so that's the Tracer gone from the side of the Saints. So Declan doesn't really have that diving support. And yet again, Potato is there on the Sojourn, dishing out the damage, finding the elims. But I mean, Echo Mercy is just so consistent at that burst damage, and Infinite is showing us a great showing here already on this map. So nice fight win here for both Vortex, and great showing from Infinite.
Yeah, like earlier in my game, like I said, I watched a Echo Wrecking Ball Tracer attack like a dive. And when it is properly coordinated and everybody's doing their assignment, so to speak, and doing their abilities, it is quite honestly a very hard composition to try to get around. So it's going to be interesting to see if Outlawed Saints can get around it.
The Mercy being taken out pretty early in the fight. That's opening pick there from Potato. Infinite now has no Mercy available to kind of support them in those engages. So Vortex definitely on the vulnerable here, and the Tracer differential will be set here by Nova. We're now seeing Infinite on this Soldier, so maybe looking for a bit more consistent damage, but Nova is tearing through the side of Vortex on this Tracer. Mindset down onto the point. They're trying to force Outlaw Saints to kite off this objective. Another possible ladle for Nova. We'll see if they can land a nice stick here as the mines come in retaliation here from Declan. B going to be utilized here, but the side of Vortex, they want to keep the sustain up. They do have this point control, so them using these ultimates to keep things alive just progresses that percentage further and further. The device are now available. We'll see what can be used. If they can find the space it wants.
Looks like they flipped it right there. I think they're trying to still battle for it. I think the B-drop saved the Lucio right there in that engagement, and while the mines were on the field, so I think that's prematurely they want to use it. But still, it's anybody's game because these guys are just going back and forth losing. Just the trades, and I think it's gonna be the first one to get like 2 or 3 picks or one big massive ult that comes out. That's like a just team winning ult. Like, I think that's pretty much gonna win the game, win the team fight for these guys.
Yeah, I mean, you say that, but it is back and forth. We saw Declan get a couple picks there, but now it comes back. Nova's back in the fight, finding some nice value there on the Tracer. Awesome there as well. And yeah, Nova's come back, and Declan and Nova have done a fantastic job of trying to keep this point contested, but Vortex just still have that control, which is so detrimental. Visor now coming out as well from Potato there, so they really desperately want this. And this is just what we're going to get with these composition matchup. You know, the amount of sustain that the ball can provide is just incredible.
It is. The ball can just swing around there, get on top of the point, below the point, run around, and it can stall for days. A lot of times people switch to a Sombra just to hack, is what I'm thinking one of these two teams is going to try to do to see if it'll work. But if not, the balls are just going to keep wreaking havoc in the back line and just keep stalling for days. So, again, it's anyone's fault. It's just which of these teams is more coordinated than each other is pretty much going to determine a lot of things in this game.
Yeah. And the coordination from Vortex to just absolutely decimate onto the Mercy there was just incredible. You know, you have that damage coming out from the ball and everyone focuses down. The picks coming through. Infinite does not miss there. And the mine's now placed onto the point as well. And like you said, we're seeing Declan spinning around, spinning to win on the point. Trying to keep this fight alive. But with 99%, yeah, Outlaws, they really need to try and touch this point because that's all they're playing for. It's all on the line here for this round. But Infinite is just so damn consistent on this Echo. Touches are still coming through, but with that nice stick coming out and the recoil forced, looks like there's only the Tracer left as Vortex are able to clean that up nice and quickly. Yeah, Infinite there, so consistent on the Echo, and definitely carrying Vortex to victory in our second round, bringing us 1-1.
Right. The Echo was a problem, and the Soldier was just struggling to keep up, and the Soldier was struggling to do some things. I would honestly maybe consider running a Torbjorn, just if you think the turret will help you more. I could see a Sombra to hack the ball. The turret be like your 6th person on the field, which could really help you. Speaking of which, there's Nova on the Sombra. It's, you know, anyone's game. This is anyone's game, and we're probably in for a good series. This could go 5 maps even. I think both these teams are just evenly matched, and we're in for a great series no matter who wins this.
Yeah, I mean, I do think you kind of put the nail on the head there. I think Infinite is really the main issue. Vortex need to, Outlaws need to try and find a way to counteract this. The Sojourn pocketed will hopefully be able to dish out damage out, but now the Sombra, you have that ability to hack, and there the hack goes onto the ball, and falling already so low is Wisdom. Managing to barely get out, and that's what you get with the ball. You get the survivability, but the picks are coming through. Lucio and Tracer both overextended, and the punishing is there from Outlawed. Declan finding a nice kill there, also awesome. And you can already see Infinite definitely being pressured away here by Potato on this Sojourn. Definitely the better pick here as the point gap goes in the side of Outlawed Saints.
Right. Because even right there, like the Sombra, Nova, hack, Wisdom, and it was just heavy pressure. And they were like, oh, okay, I got to get out. And then when they did, that allowed them to easily get the Tracer and the Lucio. So Wisdom had to wait for extra healings to use some health packs. And that's really good about Outlaw Saints, to target the ball and take care of the ball.
Yeah, well, you can't out-heal a railgun to the body as Potato is cleaning up in this fight, fighting 3 so far. And you're absolutely right, the hack is just so good at, you know, even if you don't get that pick onto the ball, you at least pressure out the ball, and the rest of the team is free pickings.
It is. And right now, you look like all you have to do is keep doing this if you're Nova. Get your EMP built up. Your EMP will win you a team fight by itself. And then if you stagger that long enough, you could literally hold it for like 20, 30 more seconds. So EMP and the Sombra play is going to be huge right here for Outlawed Saints.
That's a rough trade coming in there. Vortex, they're really going to have to regroup after that one. Declan is doing a great job of just living on that ball, which is, at the end of the day, what you need to do. And that hacked health pack is actually allowing him to have a lot more uptime than he would otherwise. Wisdom does find a pick onto Potato, though, and the beat does come through for Outlaws, so they want to get that... they used the beat to try and get that res off, which was successful, but Coco now out of the fight. They now have a lot of sustain. That hack is just so good at cutting that ball away. EMP is now available. Will they use it on the point to try and make some remnants of the fight? As the picks are coming through here for Vortex. Infinite, you know, haven't shown us something so far, but definitely is talented on this Echo and can show us how it's done. The mines are getting value. Declan finding a pick onto Awesome on the Tracer. We're actually going to see the Val coming through as well. So, you know, we're getting close to 99% here, Sam. And Vortex, really, they're fighting for the map winner.
If I was Outlawed Saints, as long and drawn out as this is, I would let them cap it and then go in there with EMP and just EMP railgun, and boom, you would win that, and then it would be flipped over. Because you have to get the EMP off to stop the beat drop from coming in or the echo copy from coming in, and that would literally be Outlawed Saints win condition right there. But the Nova on the Sombra is doing a lot of carrying in this game so far.
Yeah, we're seeing scouting out the EMP for sure. Hack coming down onto the ball. Yeah, again, Wisdom hacked up, getting caught low, but that Mercy healing is just so good. The beat coming through as well from Vortex. They're trying to keep it up, but Wisdom actually didn't catch that beat, so is still quite low and very invulnerable. And there he goes out the fight. You are. Potato does get traded out for it, but that tank being down is so valuable. And with through the Valk able to get off the res on Potato, so now Outlaws are in a perfect position in order to engage on this point. They've got the EMP, they've got the overclock. They can definitely have a lot of offensive power here. Here comes the EMP onto point, catches 3, and it's huge. That gives the overclock space just set through everyone. There's 2, make it 3. Zesty Potatoes absolutely delicious on this Sojourn, may I say. And the beat comes through just to seal the deal. Just a touch from Wisdom, but nothing much with that as Vortex look to scramble onto point. And Outlawed Saints definitely coming out with this map win on Busan.
Yeah, that's what I figured the EMP was going to for them. Like I said, that alone will win you a game. And again, you saw, like you talked about the first map where Outlawed won, where you had Potato high ground with the overclock railgun. There is nothing in front of that Sojourn. That is just free damage. And if you're a good shooter, that is body hits and headshots, and that is good, easy teamfight win kills. And you gotta go up there and dive it. And if your ball's super weak, then you're like, okay, I gotta go deal with that. And then your Sombra can just hack that mid grapple, and then boom, like it's just free ult charge / free kill on the tank. Good coordination by Outlawed Saints.
Yeah, no, yeah, really. The coordination was definitely something to look out for. I mean, hacking those targets, and that one, I believe that one kill on the Tracer when they pushed all the way pretty much into spawn. I mean, getting a pick that early with the coordination is really, really key here, and that's what we're looking for. And clearly we're seeing a lot more coordination from Outlaw Saints, because Sombra requires that. You know, she's definitely not a prevalent DPS at the moment. We're seeing her being played more because obviously Ball is starting to come into the meta a little bit, kind of being a tank that a lot of teams are realizing, hey, very, very good at, you know, sustaining and doing a lot of damage, lots of actions per minute on the ball. So Sombra classically is a good counter to that. So, but with, you know, she obviously had that hack change, so you need that coordination to actually capitalize off those cooldowns being taken offline. And that's exactly what we've seen from Outlaws, because if you can get the coordination, Sombra still is an extremely good pick. So they really definitely got through the value out of the Sombra, where we see it definitely fail a lot of times.
Right. And it was interesting to see, you saw, you know, these two teams did 2 different sets of styles. The first one was the Rhine v Rhine brawl. Then you saw the Wrecking Ball v Wrecking Ball dive. So that shows you a team is coordinated enough to go, we can go brawl, then the next map we can go pure dive. So that shows The managers have trust in the teams. They trust their tank players to be able to swap from one play style to another. So that's really, really good for these teams. Like they can adjust on the fly that quickly. So we could be in for a good series. This could go 5 maps. This can go 4 maps. Who knows? But looking forward to this one, especially if these two teams can play like this and can keep it up at a high level.
Yeah, I mean, I thought we were coming in to see a Plat game, but I mean, it really does seem like the coordination, it is pretty back and forth, so it seems like these teams know what they're doing. Rank definitely isn't everything, and these teams are proving that to us. And I think you're right as well with the versatility. Having a team that is able to, having teams in general that are able to switch compositions mid-map, go into that brawl like you said on Mecha Base, and then when we come into Shrine and downtown, we're seeing some more dive-oriented, ball-centered stuff. It's nice to see. We've got a bit of versatility coming through. Will we then see maybe some more versatility going on to our following maps? Because obviously we do have a set map pool here. Going on to Midtown next, I believe. Probably going to see some similar compositions in terms of the brawl aspects. Midtown can work a lot for that. So, I mean, I feel like Midtown's a pretty versatile map, in my opinion. So we might see a variety of stuff here.
Midtown, you can see Ash Widow DPS, you could see a Wrecking Ball, Diva, Winston Dive, you can see Brawl, you could see an Orisa. I don't think you'd see a Zarya Roadhog, but I've seen a lot in my day. I could see, it's kind of weird, even today, like I said, we're probably gonna see 2 Widows, and everybody's like, you're gonna see 2 Widows? I doubt it. Then 2 Widows came out, so anything's possible. Like, they can just surprise us both, but I could see Dive being played right here. I can also see Brawl being played right here. And I can see Dive into Brawl or Brawl into Dive. It's anybody's game.
Yeah, it is anybody's game here. I mean, as a proud Flex support player myself, Midtown is definitely an Ana favorite map. It gives that kind of some Gibraltar vibes. Definitely that second point, very, very Gibraltar with that map going underneath. But it looks like we're coming into our next map here onto Midtown. So we will see whose predictions come true. If we're going to see some dive, we're going to see some brawl. So let's get right into it.
Yes, this is going to be very interesting on a very unique map, so to speak. You got under the bridge, you got in the Segway, you got high ground, you got a lot of different choices and a lot of different characters that can be used. So it's going to be interesting to see what these two teams pick coming out. Infinite on the Echo might consider a double hit scan for Outlawed Saints, maybe a Torb, but we shall see in the next few seconds.
And I mean, also, not to say, like Midtown is a visually really, really nice looking map. I think it's one of the best ones they've done so far. New York is definitely a nice one to look at. And yeah, we're going to see Infinite on this Farah, possibly. So kind of translating Echo from our last map, now going on to the Farah. And what you're talking about before about these Genjis working in these bull comps. I mean, hey, we've seen Yoshi on the Genji coming in. So maybe we're going to see your prophecy come true here. And seeing a bit of my prophecy come true. It looks like Coco's teasing the Ana here, working with a Ramatra. Definitely a good combination. Nano Annihilation is a terrifying combination. Lots of Asians there. So yeah, hopefully we'll see this pharmacy work here out for Infinite on the defense.
Yeah, it's going to be very interesting to see the Farah against the Sojourn. It's going to be probably the key in this game. The Ana's probably going to be with the Ramatra and the Lucio 2. Tracer's is going to be probably in the back line, but it's going to be the Farah Mercy versus the Sojourn. It's going to probably dictate a lot in this game.
You can already see the Farah definitely getting pressured out there by the Sojourn just a little bit, but the damage is just so good. With that damage boost at your side, Infinite is just tearing through, and the DPS lineup has been completely deleted. Coco going to be taking out Genji there, living up. Very nice for the support players to get some DPS value there, and is going to be dying pretty quick in that fight. But the res is there, and it's definitely a nice fight win there for Vortex. Nice and clean and quick.
It is. I figured Nova's going to try to swap off, or Coco swapped off to a Baptiste and probably try to get more DPS going on Infinite on the Farah. I figured that's going to probably what they're going to try to do is do a 2 to 3. No, Coco switches to a Kiriko instead, actually. Interesting.
They're looking for a little bit of more brawl-oriented backline, something that can just survive a little bit better against this Pharah and the Genji. It's a lot of high burst damage, and not to mention Wisdom. You know, Circus is on this ball coming in for a slam here already, doing damage onto the front line. Declan, when he forced to use his Nemesis form pretty early as well. Infinite already taking out Zesty Potato, so that's, again, a 45 situation created by the Pharah. Outlawed Saints, it looks like they're even... It doesn't feel like Infinite's even getting pressured whatsoever. Pincer attack coming in. They try to rotate into this small Mega Ram here. They do get a trade onto Yoshi, but they've got that Pincer. Wisdom is on the point, dishing in damage, and Infinite is on that staircase, throwing in those rockets. Mercy is not with him, so got to be careful there. Come back from spawn now, and the Nemesis form on point, able to take out Bird the dog, and Infinite is still there on Pharah. Barrage!
Barrage got a few picks, not a whole lot, and it was just like a... You can tell Infinite's really kind of establishing himself as the hard carry in this game for Vortex, but now we see a swap over from Soldier into Soldier, because I think Outlawed things I realize is we got to do with Pharah. We don't deal with this Pharah, we're not going to get on this point at all, and we got to get on the touch point. So it's going to be that Soldier Mercy combo versus Pharah Mercy combo. If Outlawed Saints wants to win, they've got to take down Infinite. They got to take down the Pharah. They got to do that and try to push in. It looks like we have a swap. Declan goes from Ramatra to Sigma.
Okay. Looking to enable the Ashe and the Soldier a little bit better so they can find those angles onto Infinite and get that pick that they so desperately need. We'll see if they can get it through. Slam comes out from the defense. We're seeing the dash in as well. The coordination, like we've said so many times before, is so stellar from this team. But Zesty Potato actually does find the trade onto Infinite. The res will be available, possibly, but Kenku gets taken out before they can even cast it. And now with the Blade from the defense, it's a scrappy fight as they try to keep things alive. The Blade coming through, not able to find anything. The pressure is there, but the pick's just won. Zesty Potato on this Soldier, finally finding some value. And it looks like that's a fight win here for Outlaw since they're able to take that point control. But will we see a touch here from Vortex?
I doubt it, because they killed Infinite first, and then they killed They killed the Mercy, and then it was the Lucio, it was the Genji, and then finally was the ball. So I doubt we get a touch, but it was just finally, like I've been saying, they had the target Infinite. As soon as they target Infinite, boom, they win that team fight, and they kept the point. And there it is again, another pick on Infinite.
Yeah, they do have the res available, and Kenku is definitely going to cast out. They want to keep it Infinite in this fight. That consistent damage on the Pharah is just so valuable. The Visor is available, and Coco being taken out early means that they're going to have to utilize that res quicker. But Zesty Potato, that tracking there on Infinite, so good. Res comes through, so now they're in a man advantage. Beat does come out from Vortex. They want to stabilize this as best as possible. With that Consuming Rush onto point, whether they can actually contest point that well is besides it. So Bird the dog finding Nova, is that going to be able to actually find some value here? Zesty Potato still on this Soldier, not dying at all, finding two in this fight. Does get taken out by Infinite, who's now back on the Soldier themselves. So it looks like they've switched off that Pharah. They've found that the double hit scan is just too threatening. They want to even things out themselves by mirroring it.
Yeah, I mean, sometimes you just gotta mirror somebody if you know you're gonna get hard countered, hard targeted. So now, yeah, I'm not surprised at all. Infinite swapped over to the Soldier. But now, if you're Vortex, you have no ults. Versus Outlawed Saints, you got 3 ults. So I'm interested which of these 3 ults will they pop first, especially the Bob and where Bob's going to be placed.
Yeah, the Flux didn't actually get any value there, but Zesty Potato getting the Visor value for sure there. Disabling any engage that they could have had on the back line, but the dog still manages to get out somehow, aided by Infinite, who does take out that Soldier who's pressuring him out. And Infinite definitely doing some diligence on that high ground, getting in that damage, but Declan actually using the shield to try cut Infinite off, not able to dish in damage and has to hide, getting poked down so well. But the dog going extremely deep in the backline is going to get punished, get calls very low, but Kenku is there, supporting each other. That's what it's all about. Bob comes out from Nova. That consistent damage is great there on the point, but Infinite will find the first pick here on the Lucio. But the dog's still existing though on this point. Gets taken out by Coco on this Kiriko, and with the res coming through, maybe there's some good sustain here from Outlaw Saints. There's the Visor coming through from Infinite. Does find one pick, so they're going to have the man advantage in this fight. A kite back from Outlaw Saints means they're going to have to regroup here.
Yeah, they're going to have to regroup right here. That was just too many pickoffs and too much of a stagger. For this engagement with the time left, I would assume they're going to do Dragon. They're going to do Blade into the mines. versus Outlawed Saints is probably going to try to use the Kiriko ult, followed by the Mercy healing, like a big wall if they can get 1 or 2 pickoffs, is my guess, but who knows.
Yeah, Blade does come out. We haven't seen it get that much value before, and Destiny Potato will make sure that is what we will continue to see. But being cornered in this small room means that the Wisdom on this ball has you and eats you up for dinner. So easy to land those cooldowns with 10 seconds on the board ticking down. I don't think Outlawed Saints can even find a touch here, Sam.
No, they're not going to be able to touch right there. Even with Lucio coming back and the soldier sprinting, the mines are right there. There's no way they can touch. And that's going to be all they wrote for this round right here. So Vortex knows what they need to do to win this. But if I'm Outlawed Saints, I target Infinite heavily. And I want to see how much resources Vortex puts into Infinite. Because I think that is the big thing in this game so far.
Yeah, definitely. Shutting down Infinite really gave Outlaw Saints some semblance of some momentum. Once you take out Infinite on that Pharah, you don't have that constant barrage of missiles coming down on your team. You have a bit more breathing room. You have that space, which is what they got. But then as soon as Infinite switched on the Soldier, they kind of looked frazzled. They didn't really know what to do. We saw them kind of flopping around on the low grounds, not really making use of the right side flank, which they definitely should have utilized to try and get on the level of Vortex onto that high ground. So it will be interesting to see how Vortex tackles the attacking this time. As Outlaw Saints, they definitely are leaning into this poke. Declan sticking on the Sigma.
You're too good with that gun to waste
My guess is we're going to see Far Mercy versus Mercy and probably see Sojourn flank around and try to get some headshots with the railgun. Baptiste will probably be with the Sigma versus it's going to be a coordinated dive by the other 3 guys with the Genji, Lucio, and Wrecking Ball on the side of Vortex. So it's going to be interesting to see the poke versus the dive.
Yeah, definitely. We've seen Wisdom definitely get consistent value on the ball. Declan definitely did a good job of shutting down Infinite when he was on the Soldier, but whether they can do the same on that Pharah, already going over this train, the slam comes through, the coordination is there. Inky not able to fall though, so the sustain from Outlaws is good as Coco now on that Baptiste able to serve a lot more healing, but there's the boop, there's the displacement, and with Nova falling so very low, the Mercy heals is all they have, but the team are smartly kiting back, they're supporting each other, the lamp does come through to good avail. That coordinated dive is definitely scary. Wisdom falling low. You can see they're really making use of that Sigma shield, really hiding behind it when they need to. But, I mean, it's nothing more than, stalling the inevitable as that damage just comes through eventually from Infinite and Yoshi. That can just find a nice trade, though. So maybe they might be able to find a touch here.
They might be able to find a touch, but Infinite is getting free reign right now. And if that's your quote-unquote hard carry and that's your guy putting all the effort into it, then that's getting target. If he's getting free reign, and boom, this is just this big drawn out stalling team fight. And we'll see if they're able to take them out.
Potato cooking up a stew down on the flank has found 3 in this fight, and although you said it wasn't even gonna happen for them, Outlaw Saints are managing to somehow win this fight back. Mines placed down onto points, so you gotta watch out for those. The displacement from the ball can definitely boop you into those. It's a scary thing to look into, but the dog escaping. It looks like they're gonna reset. Zeshki Potato, an absolute hero for the side of the Outlawed Saints.
It was out of nothing that was going to happen, but again, go back to the first map. Zesty Potato got on the high ground, and a fully charged Sojourn on the high ground is bad news for anybody. And there's the bombs coming out, so there's both DPS down for Outlawed Saints.
Yeah, yet again, we see Infinite having free reign in this in the skies and raining justice from down above, and it's just it's sad to watch. You're seeing all these people fall on their feet, fall down to the ground. Infinite just so good at raining in that damage. We got to see Potato and Nova consistently killing Infinite in these fights, otherwise they're just not going to be able to win them out. The consistency from Infinite is just too damn strong.
It is, and you get 4 minutes. I think Infinite switching off. I think he's switching to a soldier, yes. So yeah, let's see what happens right here. I guess they don't want to go with all the flying right here in case with the double hit skin. I'm interested to see what they do with this blade right here inside of Vortex with Yoshi. Because I figured when Declan goes to his ult, you're going to see the beat drop fall for Vortex.
Potato is mashing the side of Vortex so damn well on this Sojourn, so consistent, has found Wisdom very early in a lot of these fights. Nice rock there onto Wisdom is going to force them back, and yeah, I think you're right, Infinite switching onto that Soldier, just too scared of those hit scans, definitely being situated on these high grounds to point to. It's a little bit scary as a far.
It is scary as far because you go, I'm going to hit 2 different ways. And then if you even count the Baptiste as a hit scan, there's your 3rd one. Here's the Dragon Blade coming out. This got to be huge for Vortex.
Lux coming through as well, and finds one. So Coco getting taken down, but that mag grenade, it stops at nothing to find his target. We all find it annoying, but Nova finds it wonderful as they find the pick there onto the Blinding Inji. Heinen available and window placed onto point. It's nearly at its mark, so Outlaws, Vortex definitely making some waves here, but the high ground position is just so damn strong with that Baptiste and that Cassidy on there, situated up there. They do have the high noon for that space beat does come through though, so the mines as well on point. They're not allowing Outlaw Saints to really get a touch whatsoever. Nova finds the first pick onto Bird the Dog. That's the opening pick. They find Wisdom as well, so that's 2 for the side of Outlaw Saints. 2 bodies down. Infinite does find Coco. Not as much sustain for the side of Outlaw Saints, but that res is there. And Zesty Potato, yeah, again, cleaning up these fights nicely. And with 2.5 minutes on the board, though, I mean, it's going to be very difficult for Outlaw Saints to hold them off for this damn long.
It's going to be hard, but Potato's got the ult. That ult by Sojourn could easily hold it, and they could easily win. They could easily hold at least one team fight. But I think as long as Potato's on the flank and Nova behind the shield and the double poke damage and the Mercy pocketing, it's going to be very like a bend not break mentality and team composition. It's just, can Vortex, can they break it? And I think for Infinite, this tag visor's got to be huge.
Great slam splits off for the rest of the team, and Zesty Potato gets taken out very early, so that overlook isn't going to be available. The visor is there instead. The hit scan differential has been established. Res does come through. The Valkyrie's great at supporting, and Zesty Potato, their overlook is now being pulled out. They've saved fights before. Can they do it again? Finding the Mercy on the point, really looking to try punish Kenku, but the res does manage to come through onto Infinite, which is so detrimental in this fight. Now look at Infinite, he's been resed in such a backward spot, so he's able to find a nice pick. He's on an angle they don't expect, and it's a brawling fight here on the payload. As Outlaw Saints, they're trying to utilize that corridor. The Flux are coming out, but they have no support with them. With the mines coming onto point, that just seals the deal. Sign still delivered is the payload on Midtown as Outlawed Saints... Vortex, sorry, they're going to be evening things out nicely with a 1-to-1 map.
That was a very risky rest by Kenku, but when you get the Soldier behind and just no shield, no shield, no pressure, no anything in your face, the Soldier's just free reign. So we saw the Soldier get high ground with nothing in the face and just free. And look what it did for Outlaw Saints versus now. We got it on Vortex side, and both DPS are showing the carry potential, so to speak. So we're 1-to-1. We might be.
I think a long series definitely is on our hands because, it's a shame that OS didn't have that signature, synergy that we saw come out on Busan in the last fight, because the res coming through was really what kind of sealed the deal. And with that, Zesty Potato not really finding a lot of with the overclock like we've seen them find before, it kind of sealed the deal for that fight really. When you have your DPS not able to find that value in that last fight with those ultimates, it's really detrimental. Those ultimates are for those moments just purely to find those picks to cut down the bodies that are contesting that payload, so that they're able to actually find that fight when they just didn't manage to get the synergy ready together. And it's fair to them. When there's so many bodies on point, everyone's flying about, bullets are going everywhere. It's easy to get lost in the chaos. So I think that kind of worked in Vortex's favor, especially because they were on a more chaotic composition with the ball, who can just be swinging around and making use of so many bodies being on point, getting big slams. So definitely that kind of situation works into Vortex's favor with the composition they were playing. Whereas OS, they kind of want to keep their distance, so then approaching that close range fight is a little bit scary for them. But moving on to our third map of the night, we're going to be moving on to Junkertown. So we might actually be seeing more of that Sigma that we saw on Midtown.
With Junkertown, I can honestly see 2 Widows being played. At least I hope so. More than likely, I could see Ball being played again with all the high ground, all the hook angles you can get. It's I'm kind of hard to see, hard to predict what we're going to see when we're seeing literally anything and everything getting thrown out. Yeah, I see the dive coming for both teams. I see a a Mercy pocketing something. Will be a soldier, a Pharah, an Echo, an Ash. It could be anything. I could see two Widows coming out. I could even see an Orisa pirate ship coming out. As weird as it is to say, I could see a Rhine Brawl on the point. Like, I could predict anything by these teams to see in this game.
Yeah, well, I mean, obviously going on to Junkertown is definitely more oriented around those long sight lanes. So I definitely think you're right. We are going to be seeing a Widow matchup. It's very, very likely. The question is who's going to come on top, and also who's going to play the Widow. On the side of Vortex, we saw Infinite start to get a lot of value on the Soldier. Will they carry that over to the Widow? Use that hit scan prowess. So yeah, we are going to be seeing a sub coming in now. Ash is going to be coming in for Inky, and Awesome coming back in for Yoshi. So Awesome coming back into the fray for us here, which is nice to see. And Wib as well, coming in for Declan. So yeah, a lot of we're going to be seeing a lot of subs coming in for the side of OS, and obviously one coming in for Vortex as well. Maybe they're bringing in Awesome. Maybe they want that hit scan capabilities, and same for the side of OS as well.
Only thing I'll say with the Outlawed Saints is they have a very deep roster. Like, they got their starting five and subs for days, it seems. So I've seen a lot of their inner scrims in their org, and a lot of flexibility for whatever the meta is, whatever they want to. And so I'm not surprised by all the swaps coming in and out from them. Looking forward to seeing Ash Thursday play. As a support player, I've seen her play quite a few times. Really, really solid. But looking forward to seeing Awesome coming back in, among other things. So who knows what we're going to see? It's going to be very interesting.
Very likely we will be seeing, going on to Junkertown, you tend to see a lot of the BAP Zen. Maybe we're seeing Ash coming in for that Zen role. I'm not sure, I'm not very familiar with these players here at CGL, so correct me if I'm wrong. Maybe they're putting her in for that Zenyatta. Definitely a good pick here. We will see what commences, but definitely some Bull, definitely some Sigma. Like you said, it could be anyone's game. We could see some surprise picks coming out.
Yeah, you could. So yeah, right off the bat, look at Outlawed Saints. They go, yeah, Nova, you're gonna hack the ball, and you're gonna have Potato on the Widow with the long sights, and you're gonna have Wib on the Sig. So looking forward to seeing all this stuff right here.
Indeed, indeed. Yeah, and Infinite going on to the Widow, which is what I expected really going into this. We did see mainly the flex DPS coming out from. Okay, actually gonna be going on to. Okay, they're just throwing a loop for me apparently. Seeing Infinite on the hit scan roll definitely looks to be good here, but the long sight lines that the Widow has to be able to just get those headshots, not even needing to charge them up. Zesty Potato does have a lot of room here to get some great value. Oh yeah, there we go. That's the opening pick as well. As comes through onto Infinite, and getting pressured out is Zesty, so got to back off just a little bit there. Not on this Sojourn. You do get those nice pick potential with the Widow, but that consistent damage is what you want the Sojourn for. And we got to keep an eye on Coca here on this Honor. Definitely a vulnerable target, and that Mercy sustain there from Ash is just so good at keeping Potato alive. Clearly what they were subbed in for, just that Mercy prowess, not letting that Widow die, but it will be Coco that falls first in this fight. That Honor definitely very vulnerable to those flankers, to Infinite on that Sojourn. Res does come through though, and with Zesty Potato cleaning up a couple kills in this fight, the bodies really are in favor of Outlaws here. Awesome in the back, trying to do something, well, awesome on this Tracer, but with the recall already forced out, looks like they're going to be hacked up as well. So it's not looking great for them here. But the Wisdom now is on the ball trying to look for Zesty Potato. And I mean, Potato here is just being relentlessly barraged by flankers here and pressured out. We're still getting picks in here, Sam.
Yeah, Potato and Infant are just like, it's like
Oh
Outlawed
my
Saints
God.
Vortex go. We're gonna copy each other. We're like, yeah, target their DPS. We're gonna target their DPS. That's why you're seeing Wisdom just dive and Awesome come in the back line just to try to get Potato. They're trying to do it, and it's huge picks coming from Nova right now. But Nova does have EMP, and this EMP alone can win them the fight, so they don't have to invest the Nano or the Valkyrie or the sights. They can just EMP, get 1 or 2 picks, and Vortex is going to have to full-on reset after this. So that's my guess. They might try to use the infrared sights from Potato, but more than likely it's going to be EMP, win the team fight, save your ult for the next engagement.
I love how far back Outlaw Saints are playing. They're kind of having Nova punishing any outposition targets, and they've got Zesty, Potato, and Coco on this backline, just dishing out damage and healings. Mine's going to be utilized, trying to split off Coco from the rest of their team, but the flop just isn't really there for Wisdom, and this really far back positions seems to be doing Outlawed Saints a lot of value, as they're able to just kind of be so far away that the side of Vortex can't even reach them.
It is. And I thought they would use the EMP right now, but Nova able to get a huge pick on Awesome, and then followed by the hack on Wisdom. They didn't have to have EMP for that engagement, and now they can save it and have 4 ults getting closer to all 5. And there's the sights coming in from Potato, so they know exactly where they're hiding right now.
Yeah, sussing out the ball and the Tracer on that flank. Awesome has the pulse bomb. Placing it onto Zesty would do massive work for them. That Widow is just providing so much pressure, but they've forgotten about the front line. Whip takes out Kenku very, very early in the fight. Hack coming onto Wisdom, and the pulse bomb's still available. You can see the dive coming through from the Lucio, the ball, and the Tracer, but the anti-nade as well, casted there by Coco, who is so very low but still sustained up. Just creating massive value there. Nova finding a couple picks as well. Still hanging on to that EMP, so maybe we're going to be seeing that come out in the last fight.
Yeah, they actually are playing good in this fall back as we can, get high ground with the Widow, let the Sigma push up with the shield. They're actually not even needing the EMP. They're getting picks left and right without even having to use any ability within the hack. So it's very good team coordination on the side of Outlawed Saints for this defense.
Looking to sell the EMP now is Nova, so all eyes on that to find the value that it wants to provide. Flux coming out as well, gonna find 2 here. Beat there, the hack comes through, so the beat actually isn't able to be cast. A huge miscalculation there by Vortex, as the beat gets completely wasted. This Nova, Sombra just finding so much down value. Web as well getting cast that Nano, and we just saw Outlaw Saints, they barely got pressure by Vortex, so they just could save all their fights for the last, all their ultimates for the last damn fight. And yeah, not a great showing here for Vortex on the Junkertown attack.
Right, that was huge right there. It was huge. Like, the Widow in Potato, it's almost like they took the game over. So, with that. So, with the Widow coming in right there, it was just like, I figured they would try to dive it, but the protection and the resources were right there for the Widow. It left Potato to pop off, and Potato, I don't think, died once or twice, if that. It was just Potato was just getting a lot of damage in, a lot of assist in, getting the resources when they go dough, and then turn around and got 1 or 2 picks or 1 or 2 assists. That led to a team fight win. Rinse, repeat. It literally won them that game versus a diving ball. And then you take on top of that, you get the Sombra hacking. Sombra really didn't have to hack the ball hardly at all. It was just hack the Tracer, hack the Lucio. They got those picks, and they were like, we got to fall back. We don't have our balls by ourselves. We don't have our Tracer to go through the follow through damage, or we don't have the Lucio to speed booster heal or right there. So very, very good coordination and very good syncage, so to speak, for Outlawed Saints.
Yeah, I mean, they continue to play that Sojourn, I believe, Infinite through most of that, and then switched on to a Cassidy, which I don't really think makes sense with Junkertown. You know, play the Ashe maybe, play the Widow, but Cassidy doesn't really work. I mean, look, we have seen Cassidy come into the meta very, very nicely. That fall-off buff, that fall-off damage buff definitely did him a lot of favors. But on Junkertown, when you have Potato sitting all the way in the back, you can't contest him whatsoever, so it's not really going to get value. And they seem really frazzled. I think they switched on to Junker Queen and the Reaper as well. And I mean, playing a brawl up against that spam, like, what is that going to do? So definitely some frazzlement coming in from Vortex. You know, they didn't know whether to go that more pokey style with infinite, you know, teasing with Cass and Sojourn and have them having a Mercy, or going for the dive style with maybe Ana and Lucio or Kiriko and just going Monkey or something and just going straight onto that Widow. It's very confusing to me. So, you know, hopefully we'll see them put up a better fight here on the defense, but they look pretty frazzled. So, yeah. It looks like we are having some issues at the moment, some technical. So having a bit of a play DC. So we will be right back with you in just a moment. So don't go anywhere. We will be right back. Hello and howdy and welcome back. We've had some unfortunate disconnects from one of our teams, which means that they either had the option of forfeiting the map or playing in a 4v5, and the latter is what they're going to be choosing. So we, you know, it's going to be definitely difficult for them to take this one on, but hopefully we'll see them do as best as they can with the situation that has presented itself.
Yeah, you hate to see 4v5s. It's a thing. It really sucks, especially for Outlawed Saints, where they did a good job holding with Zesty Potato on the that Widow on the defense, but without the tank, it's gonna be very. You're gonna see probably Potato have to get probably 2 to 3 pickoffs per team fight to give them a chance to win.
Yeah, I mean, we are going to see Nova switching onto that tank role. I mean, it's necessary, right? You need a tank. They're really relying on Potato right now. We've seen them do incredible things on the Widow, on the Sojourn before. Will they be able to pull through now in the time of need that is this? I mean, it isn't too unlikely, you know, with a first point hold, it's not like they have to go through the entire map as a 4v5, right? So they do have, if they win a fight, then they do have some momentum here, but Vortex are looking for a close hold here with the Junker Queen.
And then also don't forget the old stable in console games, the DPS Moira. That could be a lot of damage right now. So interested what they're going to do.
Already taking the high ground there, and Infinite going to be finding Ash very early in this fight, so the damage is just not available for Potato on the Sojourn. The sustain not quite as good, and Koga getting caught off as well means that healing supply is gone, and it looks like a fight reset for OS here. Definitely feeling that man difference incredibly.
They are. And you hate to see it, but it happens. Unfortunately, I've been on the receiving end of many of these in games. It's not fun, but it's doable, but it's not fun. But anything's possible. I think they're going to try to hold right here. More than likely try to get Coalescence built up. Maybe try to push with Coalescence, maybe. But
yeah, I like what I like at least that they're trying. Yeah, they're trying their best here, making the best out of the situation. I mean, going up against a close range brawl as a 45, they just rush down onto one target. There's not really much that you can do. Another DPS being able to poke down. They are getting some decent point control here, some decent momentum on that payload, which is really what they want to be getting. A trade does actually come through here from Nova on the Sigma, so some remnants of possible couple fight wins here, but for now the payload does stay stationary, and the brawl close range hold in a 45 situation just has OS painted in a very bad light here.
it is. I know they're trying to. I think they're trying to at least give 1 or 2 ults online to see if they can function with 1 or 2 ults. You know, you might want to consider switching from the Potato from the Sojourn from Ganache to try to maybe get a Bob. Have like a 5th person on the map if you need it. But it's a thing, man.
I would even say maybe something, you know, with a nice amount of just huge burst damage. Maybe a Reaper would be pretty good to kind of counteract this brawling nature of what Vortex are playing. I mean, just go completely balls to the wall with the aggression. They do have a couple of ultimates now coming online, but Ash, yeah, falling very early in that fight. You know, Saints, if they lose one person, they cannot commit anything, which is the issue here.
Yeah, because if you lose somebody, like I said, it's a 5v3. You can just 2v1, 2v1, and then 1v1. And then the minute you win one of those, that's it. It's just over. and it's just gonna be a hold right here. Uh, they might do something with with the 4 ults they have online, especially now with the part getting a little bit of push.
Ooh, but Gracie pulling Potato right towards there. Val comes through. Res trying to be utilized. That mag grenade is so scary, but we are seeing Ash still staying alive. Flux does come down. Doesn't manage to find any picks with that, but yeah, Shizegami Shield is cast by Nova to try and disengage that high noon, but it doesn't find the value quite in time. So you rush place down to the field, although Nova has found a pick. It'll be difficult for them to find some remnants. A couple of bodies are low on point, and you can see the heals just being pushed into Nova as much as possible. In this 45 situation, there is not much you can do at all. 30 seconds on the board, and it looks fatal here for OS.
It is faithful. Looks like Nova switches to the Rhine to try to be a little brawly right here. But I don't know if one to be brawly against a Junker Queen and a Mei and a Lucian character all together. I mean, it's tough, but it might be a little bit tougher with the resources we pumped into the Wisdom of the Junker Queen.
They do have this Rampage online, Vortex and Ree in this last fight in a 45 situation. That's all they're going to need. Whether OS can even get a touch here, whether it's even worth trying. We'll see charge coming through though, so and the Suzu is there, so there's not really much you can do. They've got the ultimates, they've got the bodies on point, and yeah, overtime clicking down. We're going to see some touches, but Sam, I think that's pretty much all she wrote.
Yeah, that's pretty much all she wrote. It's just the stagger kills, one right behind the other. Overtime tricks down. Sojourn's unable to touch. Junker comes over the knife. Hold. Unfortunately, you hate to see it. It happens. It's a thing. You'd rather it be a 5v5, but at the end of the day, DCs happen. But alas, you move on from it. Maybe probably throw the other tank in there for the next map. Gives you have a chance to rebound, and then the next one can tie it up at 2-2. So we shall see. You know, it's still anybody's game. Both teams are both equally matched.
We'll see probably Declan coming back in on the tank role, I imagine, because I don't believe they have any other tank. No, they do also have hyperspace on the tank, so we will see if that substitution comes in. Coming on to our next map will be Colosseo. So kind of going to be favoring these brawlier compositions again. So will that play into OS or Vortex, we think?
Honestly, I see both teams. I can see both teams running a dive. I see both teams running ball. Ball is super strong. You can almost make an argument for a brawl, but I kind of see a dive coming out with a Sombra on both sides to hack the tanks. But who knows? We shall see.
Yeah, I mean, I do think those close corridors do bode very, very nicely for the Reinhardt. We've seen them maybe utilized, I believe, by Vortex on Midtown, I think. So by both teams actually saw May being utilized. Nope, that's a lie. We saw May being utilized by Vortex in our first map on Busan. So maybe we'll see that be utilized again, those close quarters in that first area of the map, just being able to wall off someone and, you know, get that 4v5 situation where you are much more likely to win the team fight when you split off one person. So maybe we'll see that come out. We will have to see when we go into Colosseo. Another very common pick on Colosseo is Widow, and we did see Potato do extremely well in Junkertown, and those long sightlines are definitely there on Colosseo, especially like I said in that first strip. It is very brawly, but it is such a long straight strip of the map that Widow has really good sidelines into the enemy backline that's going to be positioned all the way at the other end of the enemy team. So will we possibly see a Widow coming out from Potato? I wouldn't be surprised, because it seemed to perform pretty damn well on Junkertown on the defense. So yeah, looks like we are going to be seeing some subs coming through here. We're going to see Declan coming in, as well as Inky for Ash. So maybe they are planning to play a little bit more broad. We did see Declan on the Reinhardt do very well, and Awesome coming in as well, who we saw a bit on the Reaper. So maybe we're seeing them trying to play something a little bit more close range, something a bit brawlier here on Colosseo.
If they're gonna go brawl, I could see both supports running Lucio Ana, because I've seen Ana be really, really strong on the push maps due to the long sight lines, and if the tank pushes so far up, you can just snipe and heal. Then you get the trajectory of the nades, which could really help with a ball dive / Rhine pin. So I see both supports for both teams probably running an Ana Lucio, maybe a Lucio Kiriko. But I would not be surprised if we did not at least see probably Mercy Lucio, Mercy Ana, maybe.
I mean, we did see Lucio Mercy kind of prevail a little bit on some of our more recent maps as well, so definitely a good call there. You know, so my survivability never hurt anyone on the support lineup. Lucio's great at doing that very nicely. Burger Dog, definitely our star Lucio player so far today. Definitely playing a lot of that. And we're going to see them playing it again. Maybe teasing a Lucio Brig backline, which kind of indicates you know, that Jote style that we saw dominate the meta in some of the early betas in Overwatch League. But my predictions are kind of right here. Declan coming out on the Reinhardt most likely, with Potato on that Sojourn, which we did see it do and create great value. And you're absolutely right with your take of, you know, we're seeing Infinite again on this Echo and that Lucio Mercy backline for the side of Vortex.
Yeah, more than likely Mercy Echo in the sky, Genji random, Wisdom going to try to die with the ball versus they're going to try to brawl with Declan. Maybe have Tracer come in behind with poke damage, maybe Zesty Potato behind the shield. So it's going to be two different attacking styles. It's going to see who can bend your break and who gets the first big pick off first.
Yeah, Wisdom really trying to split off Potato there on the off angle, but the sustain is just so great here from Coco on this Baptiste, and the heals are coming through nicely. Once you dive in and engage, if you don't find those picks, if Vortex don't find those picks, you know, the sustain of the brawl is just really gonna outperform them there. Infinite having a really bad stagger pick possibly as well. No, actually manages to get out. Whatever chasing him there. So yeah, nice early point progression here coming out from Outlawed Saints.
Yeah, there's a really good pick right there, and then you see the freaking robot. This isn't car, but the robot's getting a lot of push right now from there. And there you see the heals coming out, the inwards coming out. And down goes Zesty Potato, so this could be Vortex's time to maybe flip this over and start getting some momentum of their own.
Yeah, they've utilized a lot of abilities and cooldowns, and Coco's going to be split off there. The displacement from the ball is just always so damn consistent from Wisdom. You got to watch out for it, not get split off from the rest of your team. And that opening pick definitely serving Vortex well as forcing out the amp from the Lucio and the immortality field as well from Coco very, very early in that fight, which meant the Outlawed Saints didn't really have enough sustain to, you know, to out heal and the engage for them. So definitely good. Good stuff from them on the attacking side here. Nearly getting close to taking over that that lead again. Another pause coming out here, unfortunately. I don't know if I'll get resolved right now or not. We'll see. Just seeing a bit of a DC going through. So now Vortex are they're going to be suffering from a DC. So at least it's even, right?
Yeah, I was actually looking to see what Nova was going to do with the Pulse Bomb, and I was looking at Vortex's place where they are on the map, and I was trying to debate on, like, just thinking who would get the Pulse Bomb, who would you try to target, and my part would probably try to be the Mercy if the Mercy's not on midair, or if the Echo's coming down, or maybe try to stick it to the Wrecking Ball, but that was right when the pulse happened, so it has not been used, so I want to interested to see who the Pulse Bomb is used on during this next engagement. Yeah, that's probably going to where Outlawed Saints are going to try to open up with that and then try to capitalize and try to get 1 to 2, 2 to 3 pickoffs, and then take the robot and start pushing it the other way.
You know what? I do like Zesty Potato on this Sojourn so far, but I actually think just a little bit of thought. I actually think the Cassidy might have been a better idea to switch onto. You know, with Infinite on that Echo, Sojourn, while she is good at getting the picks with the railgun, in that neutral when they don't have the railgun charged up, not going to be able to really counter the Echo that well. Whereas the Cassidy can just kind of spray into the sky and, you know, kill an Echo really for free a lot of the time. So I don't know if I really like the Sojourn here. I think as the map goes on, if it's even, that is, we will see that Sojourn crack a little bit, and maybe the Cassidy might come out. So definitely Infinite is the one to watch out for. We've seen the really incredible things on Echo before on Busan, so some carry potential is there for sure.
It is. I could easily see the Cassidy come out, like you said. I could see Soldier come out. I could see Widow come out. Not just Sojourn. Each one of those heroes can come out and have the carry potential in their own way. So I could see the swap off from Potato to either one of those. It's like I said, these two teams are almost evenly matched. It's the whole, they both counter each other, and they're both. You say, oh, that was a good hold by Vortex, and you can say Outlawed Saints did a good hold. So both teams are in that. We're both really, really good, very well coached, very well managed, and they're both almost like neck and neck. Like they're both that very much. They're that talented. So this could still go. So this could be anybody's game, anybody's map.
Absolutely. Looks like, I believe things have gone back into our favor. We're not going to be seeing a 4v5, thank God. So it looks like we're going to be going back into Coliseum pretty quick. I believe we saw in that fight Zesty Potato get an opening pick onto that Mercy. So whether we'll see that really affect this upcoming fight, we will have to see.
Yeah, I think they got the pick on the Mercy, and then it was the pause, then the Mercy DC'd. So I don't know if the Mercy just stood still or whatever, but I do think you're right with the Sojourn pick on the Mercy. So if that was the ult should still be going on. If not, it was not an ult. So it looks like we're back, and looks like Outlawed Saints are pushing the robot as Kinku is bagged on the Mercy for Vortex.
You have to kind of question this Tracer a little bit. You know, it does a good job of contesting the ball, but really what synergy does it have with the rest of the team? B's going to come out in retaliation to the mine, so maybe a bit of a preemptive beat there, as now Zesty Potato is kind of split from the rest of the team, but the Shatter's been laid down, the Genji and the Lucio have been found. So without Yoshi in that fight, who was very close to the Blade, might I add, they don't really have anything in this mid-fight to really keep that aggression up, which means this point is just that, you know, the bot is just going to keep pushing and keep pushing for the side of Outlawed Saints.
It is, and they did get a pick on Coco, but the Lucio could, I doubt the Lucio would go speed boost, but the Lucio could probably go speed boost. So, being a Lucio, that was almost very bad for Inky. And Zesty Potato gets taken out, so this could be a huge turning point for War.
They do have that slightly closer respawns as the bot is moving towards them, and you know, we're now seeing Infinite finally make their way on this Echo and show us exactly why they are on this flex DPS on the side of Vortex. Now coming up to some key ultimates as well, so the Blade is really what we want to keep our eyes on.
I mean, the Blade, yeah, but Infinite's got the copy ability. I could see dueling Rhines right here. You could see copy of the Rhine, both Rhines circling each other, Wisdom comes in, slams, gets Shatter built up, Infinite shatters, boom, team fight win. I see that easily.
Yeah, Infinite finding a really clean pick there onto Zesty Potato, creating that 4v5 situation. You know, we were talking about Outlawed Saints, how they were able to have such good coordination, but you can't beat Infinite just popping off on this Echo. It still has this copy available. Nova's going to be evening things out here in this fight, which means now with Yoshi down, they don't quite have that Blade at their belt, at that helm ready to go. We are seeing just Infinite kind of holding on to this copy there. Possibly looking to even kite back a little bit, as the pressure is really now coming in from Outlawed Saints. They have the respawns, and the Valkyrie's going to come out for Vortex in retaliation, trying to keep that sustain up. But Zesty Potato is here on the Sojourn and here to stay. Wisdom trying to do something in the backline, but it doesn't look like it's going to do much at all, as Outlawed Saints get the bot back in their control.
Yeah, Nova got the pick on Yoshi first, then Infinite, and then it was the Lucio, then it was the Ball, I believe. So good, some Nova on the Tracer paying dividends and getting the picks right here. And here's every old thing being thrown out right now.
Yeah, Blade is going to be coming out, but that beat is there for the sustain. Vortex is going to be matching that very nicely, but the picks are coming through for the side of Vortex. They costed that beat later, which means they have that sustain for a longer period of time. They have a bit better sustain. You never want to be the loser to use the beat first. Vortex get on the fight nicely, but the lead is still in favor of Outlawed Saints, and they have some ultimate resources to come back with.
They do. They're gonna probably come back. I see probably the pulse bomb on Genji or Lucio or Echo. Probably the Lucio will be my best bet. And then I'm gonna try to do the Sojourner ult on the backside. But we shall see what happens right here.
Backline for the side of Outlawed Saints is getting decimated, Sam. That's what's happening as Coco falls yet again early in this fight. The dive is really showing its prowess as he's just able to walk past the Reinhardt with that speed and manage to go onto the backline. But the picks are coming through. The shot comes down, finds Wisdom, finds Bird the dog. Infinite just find a trade onto Lucio, and we're actually going to see the copy come through. So Infinite is looking at this fight saying, I think this is winnable. Copying the Tracer. Interesting copy there. Coco getting pressured out by it and managed to get that copy traded out. So maybe a bit of an over ultimate for Vortex, as even though they're committing their resources here, they're still not able to find a lead.
No, it's like they get the 2 or 3 picks, I think they got it, and then Outlawed Aces will come back and get 2 or 3 picks, and it'll stall out, and they'll hold it with the closer respawns. So it's very good team coordination by both teams, and it's still just like they're only separated by what 20 meters so far in this game, so it's still anyone's game. But
oh my god, Nova gets caught out in an awful position there, gets completely scouted out there and gets caught off guard. We're not going to have to utilize there. They got that space and it's so nice in that corridor, and the overall clock coming through with it finds 2, and it's 3 for Zesty Potato. The man's making a salad. He's got the zest from the lemons, he's got the potato, he's shaking things up with the overclock, and they find 3, and Potato never fails to disappoint on this Sojourner.
yeah, I was wondering when the ult was going to be used by Potato, and popped it and got 3 and able to still hold at the same spot. So they still got 20 meters left. Looks like Outlawed Saints is going to push this a little bit. I think they're going to get to the first point. And Nova's got the pulse bomb in the back line. You know it's going somewhere. And there's the stick. This is going to open things up for Outlawed Saints.
Yeah, and the momentum is just rolling through here. That's what Push is all about, Sam. It's about getting that ball rolling, and Outlawed Saints absolutely have done that. They did actually find the they didn't find the bot scratch. I thought they did. That's my bad there. Oh, they did find the bot scratch. So they do have the fast respawns as well. So not only are they keeping this ball rolling here, they are actually getting these fast respawns. Wisdom is now on this off angle. He's going to be looking for a slam engage. The beat is here for the sustain. So, maybe they're going to be able to counteract the upcoming shatter from the clan. The bot has been stolen, though. So Infinite finding a nice trade as well means that Vortex might be able to find some nice momentum here. The mine's available and the blade as well. So will Yoshi be pulling out the Dragon Blade, slashing across Outlawed Saints here. Mine's coming out, splitting off the team. Coco not able to support his Reinhardt, who's going to be falling there. So nicely played by Vortex in order to space out Outlawed Saints. They find picks, but like we've said again here, Sam, the picks come out for Outlawed Saints when you least expect it. Vortex don't have to sustain with the Lucio and the Mercy. Outlawed Saints, they just have better coordination and regrouping, and it looks like they're getting the bot. They're saying, no, you're not allowed to steal that, and they're getting the momentum back in their favor.
Right there, you see Nova turns around, goes back to the back lane, allows Coco to teleport straight to get to the point faster. So good teamwork right there. And there's the shatter coming out, and this could be wide open right here for Outlawed Saints with the overclock and the abilities all coming out for them.
Yeah, it's open road here for the side of Outlawed Saints, because what they're doing is in fact criminal, because they are just, it's a crime scene here. Vortex are just all bloodied up, and they're not allowed to have any space here on Colossia.
They're not. Right now, you got the railgun fully charged, and then they try to come in here again. They have that. You're gonna have Coco with the Kitsune Rush. You're gonna have the beat drop coming in for this blade. It's gonna be a bloodbath to see if Vortex can pull this out and win it, if at all anything.
We are actually going to see Potato falling off the map, unfortunately, but yeah, that blade was completely negated by the beat. Yoshi barely getting up there. The wall climb not quite certain to climb up that wall. The consistency of this damage from Nova and from Declan is just so consistent. Mine's coming out though, splitting off the team yet again. We've seen, although Vortex have been in shambles most of this map so far, Wisdom is very consistent with splitting off the team with his mines and getting really consistent fight wins just off them alone. So we are seeing the bot coming back in control for Vortex. Wisdom is really cleaning up nice on this wrecking ball.
So during that whole time, two things that stick out to me was the Genji got knocked down, had to wall climb up, and allowed Nova to take out Kinku the Merc. Now, even during all that time, all that drawn out fight, what happened was they got a lot of good push. Now you're in overtime, and Vortex has to stay on this in order to keep it going, in order to try to win this. But they got to push it, what, 60 meters? So this is at least 2 to 3 engagements if you're Outlawed.
Yeah, but advisors like this, hopefully they can find the space they need in order to get those meters in. But Outlawed Saints, I mean, look at that ult bank that they have. It's just so large. They can afford to lose a couple fights here, right? They've got the lead. They've got some ultimates in their pocket. But, I mean, it is definitely impressive to see Wisdom do so damn well on this ball in times of need.
It is, and so your Outlawed Saints, oh, they're pushing it, but hey, they got to go 50 more meters. We got 4 ults versus Vortex has closest one is 77 with a Mercy. So those 4 ult, and there's a Shatter coming out right there.
He gets traded out though. Infinite does find Declan. Didn't manage to find too much value with that Shatter. Infinite is doing great work of getting that consistent damage in, but Zesty Potato finding a couple picks. It's pretty much even in this fight. Yoshi closes this blade. Can they charge up in time to get some maximum value with it? But no, Nova's here, and Inky too. The stall picks are there, and the map win does come out here for Outlawed Saints. And I mean, you've said it multiple times already, Sam, but this is just so damn even. We're 2-2. It's back and forth every damn single map. So it's really anyone's game here.
And even win or lose, is this Zesty Potato's what, second or third play of the game is Sojourn. Like, the man is popping off the power of Twitch Prime. I mean, just opening a lot of team fights up with that Sojourn, with the kit ability. Like, he held ult so long and waited. What does he do? He pops it behind the window, and what was it, like 3 picks in like, what, 5.7 seconds? Like, just that quick, just turns the team fight around. So Potato is putting a lot of work into the side of Outlawed Saints, and we're going to map 5, which is what I predicted. So again, we're going back to control, I believe. This with the Wrecking Balls versus the Rhine, this is they can run any style. I have no idea what to expect on this next map.
Yeah, we're coming into Nepal, I believe, for our last map. Yeah, it is going to be Nepal. Nepal is quite good for both these compositions. You know, we see maps like Nepal Village, which, you know, classically we like to see the Symmetra Rush come out on there. But Ball is also a very good pick on there with that pharmacy that we might see coming out from Infinite, or the Echo Mercy, in fact. We see Nepal Shrine is really, really good. It's got a really nice lots of space around the point for a ball to maneuver, a trace to maneuver, a pharmacy to maneuver around, and then you've got the indoor map, which is more akin to the ball, to the rush, but ball can still work. So, I mean, control maps normally do give us a lot of versatility from teams, and I think you're right. I think we're just going to expect to see both of these teams just going with what they've been playing, what they're warmed up with. Outlaws trying to continue this rush, and Vortex trying to do the best they can to make Wisdom's ball really shine as best as possible.
Right. Even honestly on Nepal, I don't think we'd see it. You can possibly see Ramatra come out, like a Ramatra Kiriko. Do you think we'd see it? No, but you know what? Stranger things have happened, and honestly, like you said it earlier, I think you said it was like Nano Annihilation is very, very OP on some small areas. So just say you're on one of those control areas and you do a Nano Annihilation, that is a lot of damage coming at you, regardless of whatever team you're on. We could see that. We could see the Sojourn flank. You could see them make him in with the other side. Soldier flanking. I mean, you see the Ash maybe high ground, Widow high ground across the map. You can even see Lucio Boots off the point. You know, we can see anything on Nepal.
I mean, I think it's quite an underrated control map myself. I mean, I know that my lovely friend Gio, who's casted before, my fellow Couch Potato member, he's a very big fan of Nepal. Even a bigger fan of Ilios as well. So, you know, everyone has their, you know, their favorite maps on control. You know what, Sam? What's your favorite map on control? I want to ask you, what's your favorite control map?
Yeah, I like all of them. Like, they're all aesthetically pleasing to play on because they're all different from each other. Some of them have more high ground than others. Some have more space corridors than each other. I mean, they're all good. I mean, I really don't have a favorite because each different one you can have a different strategy for each one. And that's what makes control maps different. They're all different. You can have a brawl on one, go to another one, you go dive on it. The next one can be go back to OW1 could be a pirate ship. Like, it's one of those you can throw any strategy you want into it, and more than likely it will somewhat work.
Yeah, versatility really is the name of the game on Control. That is for sure. I myself, I'm a guy who's EU and I scrim in EU, so obviously I gotta say Lee Jang Tower, scrim Jang Tower. You gotta go with that. Obviously, everyone knows Lee Jang Tower like the back of their hand if you've ever scrimmed or you've ever been in team. That's the go-to control map, so obviously I gotta go with that. But yeah, Nepal is a great map, also a great looking map. Lots of lore to sink our teeth into, for Zenyatta and Genji and Ramatra now as well. It's been obviously added to the roster. I am really interested mainly about Nepal Village. Are we going to see Outlawed Saints force the Rhine? Are we going to see Declan really try and prevail on it? That's my question here, and I think the answer is yes. I think that's kind of what you want to see coming in. We are going to be seeing Heist coming in for Yoshi. So maybe the side of Vortex are trying to put in something a little bit different. Maybe they've been playing Yoshi on that Genji, and I don't know if it's really found a lot of value. I feel like Yoshi's definitely had a sigh of relief of having Infinite there consistently on that Pharah and Echo right next to them, which is, I mean, I know that if I was right next to Infinite as my DPS duo, I could definitely breathe a sigh of relief because they're going to get stuff done. Will we maybe see, Heist, maybe they're coming out on a specialist hero. Maybe we're seeing the Symmetro going to be run where it works quite nicely on Control. So maybe we'll see that coming out here on Nepal. But, like we've said time and time again, it is anyone's game. So this could be a random Bastion player, Junkrat maybe, who knows?
Yeah. I mean, even on like Nepal Village in that small room, you could see Junkrat, May Reaper with like Ramatra with a Kiriko Lucio or an Ana for the Nano. You could see Rhine right behind it, maybe like a Bastion stationary kind of behind it, maybe an Ashe kind of high ground shooting around the shield. You can, if it goes brawl, it's going to be very interesting to see if Wisdom can match up, because Wisdom has predominantly been a ball. The other maps, I could see ball being played heavily. I think I do kind of see Sombra getting played for the hacking of the two tanks and see if they can do it, because last time when Outlawed Saints, even granted it was the DC on the tank player, on the defense, the Sombra was paying dividends.
Yeah, no, I mean, Sombra is the pick we've seen be utilized in this series really well. We saw Awesome use it on the side of Outlaws, I believe, and we also saw Awesome on the side of Vortex utilize that Sombra, as well as Nova did really well on the Sombra. We're having some technical issues at the moment trying to get into our final map, unfortunately, though. So we will try to get into that as quickly as possible. But for now, we will go into a short break while we get those issues fixed. So don't go anywhere. We will be right back with you with our final map of this series, the Tiebreaker, in just a moment. Thank you very much. Hello and howdy everyone, thank you for sticking around. Technical difficulties, none of us really like them very much, but they are what they are. But I think we're going to be going into our map pretty quickly.
So yeah, looking forward to this. I think we need the one substitution coming in, like you were talking about, maybe a Symmetra coming in.
Yeah.
Probably Symmetra, Lucio, TP speed boost straight to point, maybe Brawly is what I'm thinking we're gonna get. It's just, do you see the Rhine or you want to see Ramatra? Because Ramatra, if played well, could be OP in a way, could be one or two picks versus the Rhine. You're basically swing, pull shield up, heal up, then swing, swing, let shields regenerate back and forth. Ramatra can be straight up brawliness with, like, punch to the face and the shooting with the staff. And then, of course, the ability where if you're in that circle, you can't move or jump or anything. That could have a lot of effect on a Tracer Lucio combo. So you could possibly see it.
Yeah, I mean, I think the main thing for me is, when you're playing Ramatra, he does obviously have quite a hybrid style. You've got some elements of, with the Nemesis form, he can be quite brawly, and then the rest of his kit kind of leans more towards poke. So, with the style that Vortex have really played, where they are kind of playing the ball and a bit of Lucio, and then a bit of poke with Infinite, sometimes on the Soldier or the Echo. They're playing a bit of poke, a bit of brawl, kind of a hybrid style. I could actually see them whipping it out here. I'm not gonna lie to you, but I think really what you want to play the Ramatra for, like you said, is the Annihilation. It's just a really, really strong ultimate, and maybe we'll see that paired with an Ana. Who knows? I think personally, the Ryan's probably a better choice, just because the consistency of the brawl, it's a more defined role, so you can build a comp around him a lot easier. You can say, okay, we're playing close range, so we'll play a Mei, we'll play a Reaper, a Junkrat. Whereas with the Ramatra, there's a lot of possibilities. So on a game mode like Control, though, I do think that where fights can get scrappier, that's where Ramatra does kind of have the upper hand against Ryan. So we will see eventually once one of our teams does finally ready up. So
yeah, so it's going to be interesting to see what these two teams pick. Is we're on Nepal. It looks like we're inside the Sanctum first.
Sanctum, that's the one. Let's look at the names of these maps.
Yeah, there's Nepal, there's Sanctum, there's Village.
And Shrine? Is the other one Shrine?
Shrine.
There's also shrines in on the control maps. For some reason. I don't know why. There's so many of them.
I could see a ball in this one in Lucio just for the try to knock him off that ledge area. And I could see a Widowmaker backside shooting at them. So that would be my guess.
Did I actually predict this? Hold on. If I actually predicted that Heist is just coming in here for Symmetra, they might just be going for a TP. That is very likely. But if they stick on the Symmetra, I'm gonna be very proud of myself. I'm gonna be very proud of myself. I am interested in Declan playing Monkey with the Zenyatta. I'm probably getting cast cursed here. Yes, he's going on to the Sigma. Definitely supports it a bit better. You do have some nice spam rotations here on this objective, so it'll be nice to see how they utilize it.
And looks like Nova swaps his trade. Yeah, they both just did it for the TPs.
Okay.
I'm interested to see the Inky, Coco, Bab, Zen support line. That's going to be very interesting with the healing output. And it's going to be interesting to see who gets the first pick between these two teams.
Yeah, the Discord already applied onto Wisdom. You can already see that damage coming through. Discord's so good at just negating a tank's health pool, saying, hey, you have less health, so we are going to be doing tons of damage to you and pressuring you out so much, which actually does force the immortality field very early. But the pocketed Soldier now finally finds its value, finds its stake in this fight. Zesty Potato are going to be evening things out, so both Traces are no longer in this fight, so not quite as much flankiness. Potato are going to be taking control of this point, quite out in the open though, so you need to be careful of that pocketed Soldier. You do have Potato on point, trying to get the point cap, and it does go in favor of Outlawed Saints. So Potato can now back off, go back to his team, and they can continue this poke, supported by this Zen. And this Discord, you can already see here, Sam, how much value this damn Discord is getting.
It is. Now goes Wisdom. Now it's going to open things up for Outlawed Saints, as they're going to back up right there. But Infinite's got 80%, and Zesty Potato's got 84%. Both of those DPS are doing a lot of work for their teams. So they're the first who are probably going to have ults right off the bat. And just the healing for Zesty on the point, catch him up, allow him to shoot at that angle, that little area they were trying to stay at, was very, very huge for them. It's going to be interesting between these two ults, which one comes first and which one gets more usage out of it.
Seeing the Flux coming out, going to be opening things up nicely, but the dog taken out quite fast. Declan is very vulnerable here, but the immortality field has been cast by Coco. The support line of Outlaw Saints is really making sure they invest all their cooldowns into Declan so they can keep that front line up and running. That said, Potato, now because all the cooldowns are being focused into Declan, does actually fall. And now Infinite has kind of a bit more space to maneuver around. DPS lineup not there for Outlaw Saints, but Declan and Inky Bear are there with the picks. They've got ultimates to back them up as well. The defensive capabilities are great from them here, and we're actually going to see Vortex being the ones to reset here.
Yeah, and in that last fight, Inky used a high jump kick basically to take that heist, so to speak, because the god can't punch. So very good DPS coming from Inky right here. Does have the transcendence. Can use that with the with Vortex strategy, the prophetic floats. As this is going to be the last engagement. I'm expecting that. I'm expecting Zesty Potato to pop the ult and get 1 or 2 pickoffs from the back.
Heist has the pulse well, managed to get the value. We can now see all this player has been subbed in. Guess Coco out in this fight. Trans have to be utilized for that defensive capabilities. And Infinite actually didn't find anything with the visor there, which is really upsetting to see. Potato now with the overclock on the high ground. We've seen it get massive value before. That's 2 picks for the man on the Sojourn. Make it 3. Doing so much from this high ground, but the point control is fantastic here. They've got the Sigma and the Baptiste just able to keep things strong there. But the dog finding some nice picks, and we are actually going to see the point going control of Vortex.
They are. If the he had a little more healing / a little more health with the ability, Zesty kind of got some more damage right there. You try to use the ability to damage a lot of them near the immortality, try to kill the immortality. If that would came out a little earlier, I think maybe could have got 1 or 2 more pickups or a little more damage.
Yeah, that combination of Potato through that window and the stick from Nova deletes Wisdom faster than you can even imagine. Coco finds the nice Baptiste differential, and so does Nova, seeing lots of differentials be set here. And that is got all the flight onto Heist is going to make sure they, Infinite is going to make sure they get out of that fight nice and quickly. Nova and Potato doing their work on Outlawed Saints, getting all these nice picks here. And yeah, really strong showing here from Saints as they managed to get this first round win closer to that victory.
They did. Alright, so at the last minute, switch to Echo, really didn't get anything, and then Wisdom goes back to the ball. Again, good coordination, but it's just Zesty Potato just keeps popping off. That's kind of been the thing with Outlawed Saints, is just give Zesty all the resources, but Zesty 1 or 2 picks. We win the team fight, rinse, repeat. And I'm assuming Declan's going to swap off on this one to the line. Otherwise, if you get in that small room, it's going to be very, very bad. And swinging and the Symmetra turret in there. And if Wisdom stays on ball, that is very interesting.
Yeah, it is indeed. And I'm not surprised we're seeing Vortex coming out with a ball comp here on this map. And I mean, it's exactly what we thought was going to happen, right? We're going to be seeing matchup Declan versus Wisdom, Ryan versus Ball, as we've seen so far. Infinite now on this Echo. We've seen them do great things before. Cooldowns utilized, not able to find any picks with that beam there. And we can be applying a lot of good pressure though. So first pick does come in favor of Declan, finding that Tracer. No more needle in the, thorn in the side. That little annoying Tracer dinking away at your health there on the flank. No finding Blood the Dog as well, so they don't really have anything to start the point other than that ball. And by the way, Wisdom already has the mines. So, I mean, it's glad to see this player knows what they're doing. It's just whether it's working or not.
Yeah, I mean, has to go all the way back on, wait for the team. It's one of those, I like the ball pick, but against this, in that small kind of condensed area, it's probably not going to work, especially with the Symmetra turrets. Because if all 3 of them hit you at one time, they're all going to hit you. And then you got the Rhine swinging at you.
Ryan is definitely going to be pressured out by the fact that there's now an Echo and a Farah. And you can actually see that take into effect, but Heist does actually get taken out. So we're seeing trades on either side, Infinite getting great value. And yeah, Symmetra has got to get them out of the way, and they can be nasty in that mid-fight. Infinite falling quite low there, but Declan is still on point. So we're seeing that point control still in good favor for them. And like I said, those tires, you got to deal with them. Infinite getting low there. Potato, haven't found anything in this fight so far. And again, the turrets! What did I say? Nova turrets finds Kenku, which means Heist and Infinite are now in such a difficult position. All they have is Lucio for healing, so they don't really have anything to sustain them up in this fight. Wisdom gets shattered down. And Inky there finding Heist means that there's not a lot of DPS capabilities. Infinite using the copy as well. They want to win this fight damn badly. Inky's going to be using that beat there, charging Declan away. Infinite now has the shatter on this copy. Doesn't find anything though, which is a shame. Now, this is really just a belated stagger pick as we're kind of approaching last fight territory here.
We are in Wisdom again, has the mind up. Nova has the giant shield up. They can use that time barrier. Coco's ult comes out. It's just been a long, drawn-out, messy team fight, and these picks are going in favor of Outlawed Saints, which is not what you want if you're Vortex.
Yeah, and this is last fight territory here. All that is left is Wisdom, and they're seeing fate and victory just ebb away in front of their eyes, and a huge mistake from Vortex to allow Saints to just keep that point control, which gives them the victory in the end of it. GG's in the chat from both teams. And, you know, although Outlawed Saints definitely looked dominant in that last round here on Nepal, I mean, Sam, we can definitely both account for it definitely not being a close, it definitely being a close series in general, and definitely back and forth.
Yeah. I mean, even one of the maps I lost was a 4v5 due to the tank being DCing out and Nova switched from DPS to tank. So at the end of the day, it could have been over in 4 games, but due to the DC having, but then again, they weren't only a DC having another set of Vortex in the Coliseo map, which Outlawed won it. So it's a game where it was very close, but you hated to see all the DCs and all the internet issues and other things. But at the end of the day, it was a good 3-2 series, top to bottom.
Yeah, no, absolutely. I mean, I loved how we did end up in the end seeing 2 distinct styles. You know, we saw Outlawed. They did mess around with the Sigma, a little bit of poke and a little bit of bull, but in general, we saw them really find the value with Declan on that Reinhardt. And Potato on that Sojourn, you know, really finding some nice brawly value. And, you know, Vortex, they tried the ball, and Wisdom did a really fantastic job, but in that ball composition, if you don't get those picks on your dives or from the poke engages and those poke fights with Infinite on that Echo or the Soldier or whatever, you don't find your value. Whereas that sustain from the rush is just so prevalent that it can just live in these fights. And when the fight does get close range, it just does better pretty much. So it was fun to see that clash of these 2 compositions, and Outlawed obviously getting the victory over. So GG's to both teams here in what was definitely an entertaining and a very showing series. For
MVP, you got to go Potato, because Potato got what 3 play of the games, and every team fight was just opening up. Like, go back to Coliseo. He's hold out for so long. When's he going to pop it? Pops it, 3 kills him with 5.7 seconds. Right there, even as a stall as he died, he got 1 or 2, got the immortality on the field and damaged everybody else. So, and Potato actually kept the point first on the first map of this, on the map 5. So my pick would be Zesty Potato.
See, I would also say Potato, but I am going to go a bit of a different route for variety's sake. I'm going to say Coco on the flex support. And did exactly that, flexed onto the Baptiste, on the Ana, on the Kiriko, showed really good competence, and that's kind of what you want on a flex support. You know, that's the name of the game, is being able to flex to whatever the team needs and to provide consistent value through healing and damage. We saw Coco cast a couple ridiculously well-placed windows that won fights. I mean, on Coliseo in particular, winning fights just off windows, which is very difficult to do a lot of the time, especially in Overwatch 1, in Overwatch 2, where there's less bodies to kind of just spam damage to that window to. You know, you can't win fights with windows as easily, but somehow Coco managed to find the value with that. So I definitely got to say Coco for my MVP personally.
Yeah, but they both were good, and overall, both teams were good. You could say Wisdom was good on the Wrecking Ball, and in meta where Wrecking Ball is getting picked repeatedly, you could say in a losing effort, Wisdom was really good. As Outlawed Saints had multiple people come in and play tank. It was Wisdom predominantly playing tank and on the Wrecking Ball. So you could say Wisdom, you could say Nova being able to flex off, and then his Sombra, and you could overall pick any 2-3 players from both of these teams for MVP for different and obvious reasons.
I mean, even Infinite as well, you know, definitely kind of drifted off as the maps did go by, but I mean, just that performance on Busan alone for me on the Echo was fantastic and enough to really award them something like that. But yeah, definitely all of our players here today definitely showing us some good plays, and I really think we're seeing a couple teams here that just consistently all the players here just doing well, pretty much.
Yeah, honestly, after watching this game, I'll probably go back. We'll do a review just to watch it, just to enjoy it again. These teams might see each other in playoffs. Like, we could get round 2 even for playoffs coming up. So that's how close it was, and that's how, if you go back, just say you're in Vortex, go back, what could we have done other than the DC, which nobody can help with? Other than the DC, what 2 or 3 things per map or per game could we fix to where we could win it? If they're just little bitty, minute changes, they could see each other in the playoffs, and it could be a completely different series.
Yeah, well, you know, we may see a rubber band match, but until then, it has been a lovely series. Thank you for all of us for tuning in and watching this wonderful match with myself and Sam. It has been an absolute pleasure. You know, thank you very much, CGL, and thank you for our producer for being here and making the stream possible. We'll catch you all on the next stream. So until then, have a nice night and stay safe. That'll be all from us, folks, and have a good one.
Take care and peace, people.